Hello, beautiful family. How are you all doing? Thank you so dearly for always tuning in. I really appreciate. Today, the first time you are coming across us, so you are hearing this voice for the first time. We still remain Progress News, and we give you all the latest updates. Remember, in this platform, we react to all videos, and your opinion is highly needed. So sit back, watch this video, and I'll be right back.
In these people's minds. Delusions that are handed from generation to generation, they are carrying on blindly without igniting their own independent thinking and reasoning to come out of this dark alley they are plying on. But let's just read through. So, these people are telling you that there is no God just because they want to assume the position of God. Okay? In a world, neither they, their parents, nor ancestors knew anything about its creation nor foundations. The air we and they do not own, can't control, didn't create, nor brought with us on arrival from the womb. I want you to begin to see something about God, because in everything God created, God left his autograph. We want to use the air today so you can see the autograph of God in the air we breathe. Because in everything, even the grass, the sand, everything in us, everything God created, God left his autograph. But the insanely blind cannot see God's autograph. Okay? The ground upon which we stand, made and created by God, and without which we have no place to put our feet. Let me see the crazy nation or country or continent that will tell you that they brought the ground with them. But I want you to see something today from the air that we breathe. Now, we don't own the air. We can't control the air. We never arrived from the womb with the air. Rather, the air was already here to welcome each and every one of us. And without the air, there will be nothing living that will have life on this earth. That is the first thing. But I need you to see more about what God does and the autograph of God in the air that we breathe. Now, we didn't bring with us on arrival from the womb, but are badly in need. That means we are badly in need of the air, else we die. We may not have been able to have even any language without the air. We couldn't do anything. We would have just died without the air. Now, let's now consider some antecedents of the air and behold God Almighty and see God's autograph in the air that we breathe. Okay? The first thing I would like us to consider is the fact that this air cannot be seen with our naked eyes. That's telling you that God is a spirit. But we can see the effects of the air because it is what we breathe in. It's what sustains us. The air is in our lungs, it's in our body. We can't control it. We need it. We can't see it. Very important, we begin to see the images of God, the autograph of God in the air that we breathe. Okay? Very, very critical. Right. Now, and you know very well that in this air that we breathe, when it turns into wind, it can do every damage on earth. It can pull down the houses. It can bring down an aircraft. It can destroy everything, yet we can't see it. And it is also powerful enough that where it springs up from, we can't know. We would never know. And where it rests in the end, we cannot know. It penetrates everywhere. The air is everywhere. That tells you God sees everything. You can't lock the air out of any secret meetings. You can't lock the air out of anything. Okay? The air must be wherever is. It doesn't matter where. The air is everywhere. That is the presence of God everywhere. I'm just trying to use the air to illustrate something to you so we'll begin to understand. But we all appreciate that in spite of what the air or the wind can do, no naked eyes can see the air. But we see the effects. We see the tree leaves moving. We see the foundations of the building shaking. We see even tsunamis going through, and we see the high winds blowing. But we see the effects. We can't see the wind itself. That is God. That shows you the power of God. And this is just the air that I want us to consider. We could break everything down. We could look at the sun and see the autograph of God in the sun. We can look at the moon. We can look at the grass. We can look at the tree. We can look at anything in this world, including human beings. Okay? Now, God is also telling us a lot about us, because if we don't capture these things, we'll keep deluding ourselves. We keep destroying this world. We keep being stupid. Now, because we have not yet captured what God is telling us, even through this wind, let me show you what we are doing, okay? Because you have to be insane not to understand that there is God. You must be insane. And you must be spiritually blind. And your calculation is solely based on the physical eyesight that is so blind, that is limited, that is partial, and that cannot actually see much. Very important you understand. When you begin to calculate the world based on what this blind, I've already told people that this eyesight we have, it's a blind eyesight. We only see through the assistance of the sun, that's the natural light, and the man-made light. If you took these two away, we are permanently blind, okay? But even with the assistance, even with the partial eyesight, okay, even with the assistance, we have partial eyesight because we can't see much. There are millions of particles falling before us. We can't see. That's why we can't see the wind. We can't see the air. Even dogs bark before we start investigation because dogs see better than us. A lot of animals see in the dark. We can't see a thing. What we have is assisted and partial eyesight. It must be assisted by either the sun, the natural sunlight, or man-made bulb. Okay? That is a fact. We can't change that fact. Now, very important, we appreciate some of the things that happen to us when we lose sight of this whole thing. Okay? Now, let's see what happens here. These insane and spiritually blind fools, because that's what they are, they calculate issues relating to our transient existence based on the little their blind, assisted, limited, and partial eyesight can see. And they often say, now look at what people do, these people that are so blind, and they're calculating the world based on false realities revealed to them by their blind eyesight. Listen, they are the ones who often say, and I quote, there are too many stars in the solar system. There are too much sands on the ground, under the sea, under the oceans. Too many sands. And there are too many people inhabiting this world, unquote. But in their foolishness, they act based on these and their total ignorance, okay? They act based on this level of stupidity without asking themselves, and I quote, did we, our parents or ancestors, put any of these things where they are located? And are we ourselves stopping in this world? These are the two vital questions these people fail to ask themselves when in their partial, blind, and assisted eyesight, they are saying, oh, there is too many stars in the solar system, in the firmament. Oh, there are too much sand on this earth, under the seas. Oh, now there are too many people in this world. Too many. These are fools. They don't ask themselves whether they were responsible for putting any of these things where they were or where they are, where they're located. They don't ask themselves, aren't we privileged ourselves to be here in this world to marvel at God's creation? These are people who have no clue about when the stars were created. These are people who have no clue about when the ground upon which we stand was created. These are people who have no clue whatsoever about the sand. Even they can't account for one sand and how the sand came into this world. These are people who only became aware of this world just because two strangers indulged in sexual intercourse, okay, and gave birth to them. These are people who, on arrival from the womb, they brought nothing at all into this world. look at their level of insanity. But they go forth to tell you how civilized they are. They go forth to tell you how wise they are. They go forth to tell you how righteous they are. They wear all brands of uniforms to confuse you. They stay in high lofted, stupid offices to deceive you. They tell you how important they are, yet they are the real scums of the earth. Because without the knowledge of God, without the knowledge of creation, without the knowledge that comes from the wise God, I'm telling you that when you study the air alone, you begin to see God even better and get to know God better. So, but because these people are so blind and because they're thieves, you see, for you to start lying, you're planning to hide something. You're planning to deceive. You're planning to kill. You're planning to destroy. Otherwise, you won't be lying. Lying is the byproduct of thievery behavior. You want to steal something. You want to take undue advantage. So, and the thing is, nothing they say has any meaning when you really put them under scrutiny. Okay? How is it that you're claiming ownership of yourself when it took two strangers to bring you into this world? How is it that if you can't claim ownership of yourself, how are you claiming ownership of another person? You yourself cannot produce any child because you will need somebody else in order to do it. So you can't claim the ownership of anybody. Now, if you can't claim ownership of your own or whatever you think is your child, how dare you begin to claim ownership of other people, other places? To the level where you say, I own Nigeria, you're doing all this, or you're destroying people, destroying yourself in the process, but you have no insight into the stupidity that has become your way of life. So we speak for a reason, and we must speak, because without these truths, okay, these dark, evil people will destroy themselves and destroy others. This is psychosis of the highest order. This is absolute madness, and we need to call it what it is. Otherwise, you are wasting your time, okay? So, these people will never ask themselves whether their parents, ancestors, put any star where it is located, any sand where it is located, put anybody on their own in this world. In their minds, everything is too much, too many people. But what do they know about the size of the world? And what do they know about humanity? What do they know about the reasons for creation? What do they know about the purpose of mortal beings in this earth? What do they know? Let me reveal a few things to these fools. I need them to know that everything God created, everything man made out of what God created, comes from the ground, including us. Okay, so let's learn a little bit now. I'm sure people have understood and had slight insight into the power of the air we breathe, which no man created, which no man owns, which no man controls, and without which there is no life on this earth. Now let me show you another thing you must take home today. It's important we know that everything came from the ground. It doesn't matter what it is. Think about it, okay? It doesn't matter how high an aircraft flies. Everything about that aircraft came from the ground, inside the ground. Doesn't matter how tall a tree is. Its base is in the ground. Doesn't matter the skyscrapers we build. Everything about that skyscraper came from the ground. It doesn't matter that we come out from the womb. We originated from the ground. That is why we return to the ground and never return into the womb, because it is in the soil, it is the clay. We came out of this soil. That's why we must return to the soil.
So, my wonderful family, that brings us to the end of this update. Do well to like the video, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and bye bye.